So everybody's wondering whether or not the Labour Party will actually have a good chance of winning the general election.
Well, I actually don't think they have a chance of winning the general election, but I actually think they might do much better than everybody's expecting they will do. I think the manifesto obviously could attract quite a lot of people. Some interesting ideas in there, but I'm just not sure whether people see Jeremy as the one delivering on those.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
The more and more I learn about Jeremy Corbyn, the more and more I like him. I believe him when he says that he wants to sort out, inequality and injustice and poverty. And I tell you why this is. Jeremy is a man of principles and values. He doesn't like inequality. He doesn't like injustice. We know he's from a privileged upbringing. He went to a grammar school. And I watched in an interview where he said that he really disliked what he saw there. He said he didn't like the aspects of implicit privilege that all the boys that went there were taught. He actually was on the debating team, and he wanted to turn his school into a comprehensive school rather than have it be a grammar school, because he thought that, that he didn't like the privilege and the fact that typical Joe Blogs wouldn't be able to benefit from an education there. And I think, this shows that this is a man, even at an early stage in his life, he had these values. And I think that's a really good sign that he has these values in place, and these are the same values that he's talking about today.
I'm most probably disagree with quite a number of his ideas and policies, but the reason why I trust him more than Theresa May is that he as you say, he sticks up for his ideas. Whilst Theresa May is turning the Conservative Party in a total mainstream, whatever topic she thinks gets her vote, and in the manifesto, whether that are true Conservative ideas or Labour ideas or Lib Dem ideas that just end up in there. While Jeremy put out a really left-wing manifesto, didn't he?
Again, he demonstrates that he's not about popularity. He's about doing what's right. And whether you agree with him or not, it has to be said that as a politician, this is something that is incredibly unique. This is a quality that you don't often come across.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things that people don't know about Jeremy Corbyn, again, and I'm talking about his history a lot because, like I said earlier, I'm starting to be quite surprised about the things I'm finding out about him, and I'm liking the things that I'm finding out about him, and it makes him a more credible sort of prime ministerial candidate in the sense that I would see him running the country because of his values. The other interesting thing is that, he was very much sort of an activist in his earlier years as well.
Yes.
Very much a campaigner for peace, and he was involved in a number of other campaigns as well on a number of different issues. He campaigned or protested against the apartheid, and he was actually arrested, and the Mandelas even reached out to him and said, job well done, thank you for being part of this.
Look, one thing he has, which is the big topic in leadership and business, authenticity. He is just who he is, and that's how he comes across. And whilst I'm struggling with a number of his ideas, when I look at Theresa May, I just really don't know who she is. I see somebody who has every single appearance we can see from her in public is staged, it's choreographed, and it just doesn't come across natural. She turns that into a leader's election, doesn't she? She turns it into her versus him, not Conservative versus Labour. And I'm actually not sure whether that is doing her a favour.
Well, the polls say that she's polling well, or the party's polling well. So
yes,
that's one thing. A huge amount of younger voters have actually gone out and registered off the back of campaigns that the Labour Party have been pushing to encourage them to get out there and vote. And it could swing it for the Labour Party. I mean, that's the core audience where, Conservatives have never had a huge amount of support from in the past. And likewise with Brexit, if all of the young people who didn't vote on the referendum were to vote in the general election, it could swing it for Labour.
No, absolutely. I think, you know, when you think about what swung it for Brexit and what did the same for Trump, was that both campaigns mobilized people to go to the ballot box who typically don't. And I think this is why all the, you know, polls were off so much. And you know, he's really doing that. And look, and even if he doesn't necessarily win, you know, him mobilizing all those sorts of people must be a good thing, you know, because people get involved again in the political debate.